Hey, try to make sure my titty is not out, okay? Good morning, whores. Happy solar eclipse in Sagittarius. Today is Saturday, December 4th, 2021. I'm doing something a little different today. We're gonna do a pick-a-pile. I don't think I've done a pick-a-pile probably in like the last 2 or 3 years. However, I wanted to try something different. Spirit guides led me to do this. So there are 3 different crystals that you can choose from. Let me actually put them in screen so that way you can see them. So you have LEPIDOLITE as your first crystal. So if you want to choose LEPIDOLITE, you can choose that. We have LABRADORITE as our second crystal. And then we have Tiger's Eye as our last. So before you choose your crystal, let's go ahead and tap into our aura, tap into the energy that is surrounding us. Just to make sure that we're choosing the crystal that works best for us. You may already know what you want, but this gives us a little time to center into whatever message is coming up. So deep breath in and release. Do it 2 more times, all the way to the top. Deep breath in and release. Listen, they like clear your throat out. Last one, deep breath in, release. Now I know which crystal I'm choosing because I don't know what messages are coming up. We have 3 tarot cards, 1 card from the crystal Mandala oracle deck, so I'll read what that means afterwards. But do not forget, you have LEPIDOLITE, you have LABRADORITE, and you have Tiger's Eye. So I'm going to leave the one that I chose for me last. We're going to start with Miss LEPIDOLITE, so pile number 1. So let's go ahead and see what the message of pile number 1 is. So we have the Ace of Pentacles, we have the 8 of Pentacles in reverse, we have the Page of Swords, and we have Grace for the Grand Gesture, number 15 from the Crystal Mandala Oracle deck. And this is Archangel Raphael and Malachite. So if you have any Malachite, this would be a really powerful crystal for you to work with. I'm actually going to hold LEPIDOLITE as I talk through these messages. So first thing that is coming up is all around... It makes me think around just like a skill set, like finding the strength that you need right now in order to get something done. So I feel like if you're choosing pile 1, the message here is all around like getting the work started and remembering that nobody can do it like you, right? You have something special. You have something very, very useful. You have something very, very significant when it comes to your new creation, your new baby. Like maybe it's a new house that you're working on, trying to like manifest right now. Maybe it's a new, I see this as like a new like lane for like work. Something that you've been wanting to create and you haven't been necessarily sure if you have the power to create it, but you have to get out of your mind and remind yourself of how smart you are, remind yourself of how far you've come, remind yourself nobody is doing it like you, and this is an opportunity for you to step into your power, right? With the Ace of Pentacles, keywords, new beginnings, prosperity, property. So this is obviously showing that, you have something that's waiting to start. You have something that you have been imagining, you've been dreaming about. And maybe this eclipse cycle is allowing you to begin this new project, begin this new opportunity. I feel like this opportunity is something that's going to make you money, but you have to work hard for it. And you've already done a lot of great work around, creating this idea, creating this new lane for yourself, right? But you may not believe that you've been doing enough. Maybe I feel like this is like going back to school. This is learning something new. Maybe this is just like practicing a little bit more with your craft, or maybe thinking that you haven't been practicing enough when all you you do day in and day out is think about this new opportunity, think about this new endeavor that you are wanting to take on. And now it's time for you to just like remember the hard work that you've been putting in. Remember the results that have already manifested themselves, that have already become realistic. And now it's time for you to allow yourself to be like, actually, like, I'm already at the point where I know what the hell I'm here to do, and I know that it is my time to shine because I am taking this opportunity to remind myself that I am deserving of it. And with the Page of Swords, keywords, curiosity, intelligence, charm, and ambition, it's all about you remembering the level of intellect that you carry, you remembering how charming you are, you remembering how ambitious you are, and who has even taught you to get to this point right now to let you know that it is your time to make some shit shake, right? But you have to remember that you are in control of putting all of those pieces together. Because we have the Eight of Pentacles sandwiched in between the Ace of Pentacles and the Page of Swords, this to me is reading as you have the mental faculty of yourself and you have the support. So now it's time for you to just know that it is your season to go ahead and make something happen out of this. But you may have to call in some personal power in order to make this become real, in order to actualize this. With Archangel Raphael and Malachite, the grace for the grand gesture. I love that this is also crystal angel number 444 and GGG. So it's all about you going for the gold, okay? Going for the gusto and giving yourself a little bit of grace as you are stepping into this new chapter. It's not going to be perfect. You're going to have to go back to the drawing board a couple of times, but you are smart enough to get through this season right now and make this new thing happen for you. So let's read what this specific oracle card means. It says, we bring you the gift of grace for the grand gesture. Although there are times when even the smallest act, such as choosing to think a positive thought, is enough to transform your world, there also comes a time for the leap of faith, the grand gesture of unconditional trust that will free you from the past and empower the universe to gift you with a new future. The grand gesture is the big step, the willingness to say to the universe, I trust you. And I know it is time for life, as I have known it, to give way for a bigger, bolder experience, and I am willing to allow you to lead me to it. You then make an offering which confirms your declaration and empowers the universe to reward the faith you've demonstrated. The grand gesture cannot be forced. If it comes from a place of should or uncertainty, then you are not ready. The grand gesture must be unconditional. It must be something you offer, not for what you can get in return, although the rewards will be rich, but because you are willing to offer something of yourself in service to love. When it comes from this place, the grand gesture is a trigger for divine grace to express itself in your life in an entirely new way, surpassing all expectations and showering you with blessings. This is an opportunity for you to do it because you want to, from a place of love, not because you should, but because you want to. There's no uncertainty around it. There's no second guessing. If you're continuing to second guess, then maybe it's not time. But when it's a full body aligned yes, mind, body, heart, spirit, you know what I'm saying? Like when it's a full yes, that's when it's time for you to go. And that's when it's time for you to give this offering over to the universe, right? Over to your spirit guides, over to God, over to your highest self, over to somebody that you know is going to take this dream, take this manifestation to a newer place. Like this is the opportunity for that. So don't slow up unless you know that you're still feeling a little, weary, still feeling a little worried that it will not come to pass. But this spread is telling you that this solar eclipse is bringing in new opportunity for you, right? It's bringing in new opportunity to see abundance manifesting itself in your life, to see some of your dreams coming true, but you have to believe that you are worthy of this, okay? So that's it for LEPIDOLITE. Hope that was helpful for you. We're gonna go to Tiger's Eye, okay? So let's see what our message for our Tiger's Eye crystal is. We're gonna turn this upright. Okay, so they say all uprights. And then our last card, I just pulled this card for myself a little while ago and actually just posted on my Twitter. So we have the King of Wands, the Knight of Cups, the Ten of Swords with unconditional trust. So I don't know why, but this feels like a breakup of some sort. Or this feels like a breakup. Being very honest, like, and trusting that the breakup is something that you need in order to let go, and like step into your own personal power. Like, this feels like an end of a cycle, an end of a chapter for a relationship of yours. And this only is coming to fruition or coming into clarity because now you know what it is that you want when it comes to partnership, when it comes to companionship, when it comes to a relationship, right? And there may be something that happens where, I don't want to say like you're betraying somebody else or they're betraying you, but there may be a situation that has transpired or will transpire that'll have you looking at somebody with a different set of eyes. Trust this, okay? And trust that this is helping you to see where you remain strong and where you remain aware and what it is that you need to fill your soul and what it is that you need to fill your cup when it comes to relationships. I don't know why, but this feels like a queer relationship of some sort, in a very masculine energy, or a male presenting person, having some sort of, I don't want to say like a blow up, but it's more just like they get caught with their pants down type thing. And you are trying to assess whether or not that person is still a part of your life, or whether or not you can trust them. And it's just like, if they fool you once, shame on you. If they fool you twice, fool you once, shame on them. Fool you twice, shame on you. You feel what I mean? Like, this is a time for you to take what you have learned. And remember, sometimes the universe is whispering answers into your ear. That's why this little bird is on the King of Wands' shoulder. And it's like, hey, time to make a move. Time to pay attention to this. Time to trust that God is putting this in your way, in your awareness for a reason. Keywords being motivation, honor, standards, wisdom. What are your standards? You know what I mean? What do you stand for? What do you allow yourself to know? Like, what is the next direction that you're going? And maybe because of this learning, or this could also be like in relation to you taking a leap of faith with something, and you finally feeling inspired to make a change. Make a change with something that has been hurting you. That's what I hear. Make a change with something that has been hurting you. Make a change with something, or start the process of unwinding what is not filling your soul, filling your cup, not making you feel romantic, not making you feel appreciated, not making you feel loved. Proposal, quest, prospect, and pride are the key words for the Knight of Cups here. So this is all about, whenever I see the Knight of Cups, I think about just like, what is it that makes you feel loving? What does it make you feel complete emotionally? And there may be some sort of, I think also with the keyword prospect here, it's like there may been some sort of a prospect of a relationship, but then they do something, there's some sense of closure, some sense of an ending. Maybe it's a sense of ending for yourself. It could be like, this could be twofold, like a breakup or some sort of like the wool is being pulled from over your eyes, or it's you allowing yourself to see them for who they truly are. And maybe that's what you want. And if that's what it is, then go for it. You feel what I mean? Like, there's nothing wrong with that. But it's all about you staying connected to that third eye chakra right now, following your intuition, and following, I feel like this is a lot of sacral chakra work. So 2 inches right below the navel, right? This is that where you are doing a lot of trusting those urges, trusting what your gut is saying, and also having a sense of unconditional trust that the answers are coming to pass. And unconditional trust, Ascended Master, Mother Mary, and Celestite is number 31. So it says, we bring you the blessing of unconditional trust. There are times when trust comes easily. Perhaps life is proceeding according to some sort of plan, or you have enough money to feel safe, sufficient prospects on the horizon to feel excited, and enough love in your relationships to feel wanted and valued. Then there are times when it's harder to trust. Perhaps none of the above applies to you. You are lost, feel alone, confused, and without a clear plan or sign of hope ahead. You may be frightened and just want to lift you out, something to lift you out of the darkness and into the light. Your mind and perhaps your family and friends might tell you that this is a crazy time to trust. They may tell you that you should try to fix yourself, get real, give up, and get on with life. Do not listen to doubts or negativity in others or yourself. It is safe to trust. The Divine Mother is watching over you and will guide you safely into the new life awaiting you now. Don't have doubts. This could be twofold. Don't have doubts that you are telling yourself something negative. Don't have doubts that you don't deserve this. You know what I mean? Like maybe this is your time to really just like take a leap of faith and go for what is motivating you to make a decision that's very important for you and for your greater good, for your health, for your awareness right now. I really feel like this is a sense of I get this this voice that says lay it to rest. You know what I'm saying? Like put it to bed. Time to move on, time to move forward, time to really focus on what it is that you need, and know that if you're not getting it right now, you will the more that you allow yourself to advocate for what it is that you desire. Okay, and move on. It is time for you to move on. All right, so that is it for Miss Tiger's Eye. So remember, we have Miss Lepidolite, we have Miss Tiger's Eye, and now I want to get into what I chose. Labradorite is my favorite crystal. So let's see what the message is for Labradorite. Ooh, okay. So here are our cards. We have the Ten of Cups in reverse. We have the Seven of Swords in reverse. And the Five of Swords upright, along with number 17, Authentic Voice. I know this one was for me because 17 is my favorite number. And I just had a little burp, a truth burp as well. So this solar eclipse for our Labradorite crew out there. This is a time of, you may be feeling a little isolated, but I also want you to just keep in mind that with isolation and with you kind of like going inward, it's you finding yourself right now. Like you may be in the season of like finding yourself again, and it's not that you haven't known yourself, it's really just about asserting your boundaries and asserting who you are in this new season. And you are getting to dictate what it means to feel abundant. Maybe you haven't been feeling abundant because you've been running on somebody else's perceptions of who you are and what you should be doing. And maybe there's been this sense of distrust with people around you. So I feel like this is a time of like having to go inward and really focus on what brings you to this sense of self-awareness. A self-assertion is the word that comes to mind. So with the Ten of Cups, keywords here: prosperity, family, contentment. There may be a little bit of a tinge of stress, a little bit of like tension with family, or really defining what family is. So like for me, this is like, I'm not going home for the holiday season. I've really been reconfiguring what I believe the holiday season to be. Like, you know, because sometimes I get very like existential. I'm like, well, this has been what life has been like, or what the United States has been like, or, you know, the world has been functioning on this cycle of holidays. And it's just like, well, just because of the time of the year, like this is like a tradition, this is routine, but like, is this a tradition that I want to be a part of? Like, how do I want to spend Thanksgiving? Like, do I think of Thanksgiving as how I always thought of it, like growing up? Like, no, I have this different sense of awareness around like how people were killed. There was a massacre of people, and now this is of Native people of, you know, like the United States. And now this is a time when we are supposed to be like honoring them. And it's like, yes, but no, like this doesn't feel right. Is this a day where I get to spend time with family? Do I want to spend time with family being triggered, or do I want to spend time with chosen family instead? People that I trust, people that I don't have to overthink my being around. This is where the Seven of Swords is coming up. Dishonesty and theft, keywords, but this is just like, you know, you being honest with yourself, you allowing yourself to know what you feel is rich within you. So if you see on the card, the bird is holding it looks like a ring, like a gemstone of some sort. And it's just like, it makes me think of like, well, are you accepting when you go home with all your crystals and all of your regalia, you know what I mean, feeling fancy? Like, or are people looking at you and be like, well, what's that? You know what I'm saying? What's this giving? Like, judging your external appearances. And it's just like, no, like, I don't want to deal with this. I don't want to deal with all of these external thoughts trying to take me out of what I feel and know myself to be. I just want to be here and be myself. And how am I putting myself around people or in spaces that uplift who I am and who I am becoming? And there may be this sense of conflict. There's this sense of loss, upheaval. So it's like, you know, getting out of your own mind, and, you know, when you're in these spaces and really just like being yourself is what I'm seeing from the Five of Swords coming up. Five of Swords is also about just like being self-interested. Some people read this negatively. I read this as kind of like, you got to know you first before you try and assert anywhere else. And if you need the time to really sit with yourself and really figure out who the hell you are and make sure that you are bringing your best self into spaces, you don't have to feel forced to show up anywhere that does not feel aligned. And then with authentic voice, this is very obvious. Are you sharing your authentic voice? Are you saying what's been bothering you? Are you saying what is truly on your heart? Or are you trying to placate others all the time? And this may be what is affecting you in this season right now. Like, knowing who you are, and are you showing up in places or doing things that are actually connected to who you choose to be, not the projection of what you grew up thinking you deserve to be or what you were supposed to be. Who are you today, and how do you lean into that? Authentic voice, Angel Bath Coal and Aquamarine. It says, we bring you the gift of authentic voice. We want you to know your own truths and to speak them in your own way because you have something of value to share. Your inner world, your unique viewpoint, and the person you are. When you speak from your authentic voice, you help others relax, come out of their heads into their hearts, and remember the truth of who they are as well. Your authentic voice doesn't have to sound like the voice of any other. It doesn't need to always be soft, although in its own way, it will always be loving. Your authentic voice has a place in this world and has been designed to be a valuable part of the sacred choir of soul voices which creates music for the universe. As you trust in your authentic voice, your ability to manifest your divine destiny will grow, and your responsible use of the power of your voice will help many. Well, hallelujah, because if that was a message for me. I mean, all these were definitely messages, but this one was a message for me because I think that I've been thinking about, like, I'm not trying to be famous or nothing, but I'm trying to be good and known in my field, right? But I also want to be known for what it is that I choose to do with tarot, what I choose to do with, like, what I define healing to be, and not what others may think my definition of healing is. It's like, listen, I started doing this because I was just trying to find myself. If I can find myself and learn more about me and learn more about my triggers and learn more about my boundaries and then share that externally and then help others on a larger scale be able to do that or even be conscious of this, then I've done my job. You know what I mean? And that's all that I want to do. And, like, I want to be successful in that, and I deserve to be successful, and I will be successful, but I have to continue to know that just because it's not happening the way that others may anticipate it happening, or, parents may have their own, or family may have their own perception about stuff, that doesn't mean that it has to stop me from doing me. So I want to ask you, does it stop you from doing you, right? Are you feeling like you have to hide your authentic voice? And if you've been feeling like that, this is the season to let that go and know that you are stepping into a cycle of redefining what it means to feel in community, redefining what it means to feel safe around others, redefining what it means to feel safe within your body and with yourself, okay? So that is my message for Miss Labradorite. We're going to, they said you ain't gotta pull no more cards, but I wanna be nosy. So, like, myself wants to pull just like one card to close this up for all of us, just as our final reminder. Okay, well then they said we're gonna do the Crystal Mandala Oracle deck instead, to have just like a little close out for the collective, and see if there is a little invocation that goes along with this as well. I mean, there's one that goes with every single one of them. If you would like to hear more of the invocation, I can do something differently for you all, or even write these up if you are interested at some point. Maybe that's what I'll do. Spirit guides were saying, no, you ain't got time to read all that. Yeah, I know. So let's see, what is our final card to close us out as a collective for this solar eclipse. Thank you. Storm, Wisdom, Angel Raziel, and Peter Sight. So let's go ahead and see what Angel Raziel says. And Peter Sight, I've never heard of Peter Sight before. It says, we bring you the gift of storm wisdom. This is the fierce cleansing nature of divine compassion made manifest in the world. Storm wisdom thrills the spirit, for it understands that so much benefit and liberation will come from the process. Yet the mind may quake at the prospect of such little control over how your life events are unfolding at a time. What is happening during an experience of storm wisdom is that anything that's become stagnant or obstructing your spiritual growth will be uprooted. You may find that the divine storm of transformation powering through your life creates a feeling of upheaval, creative chaos, uncertainty, and excitement. You may feel simultaneously liberated and exhilarated, whilst also wondering if everything's going to be okay. You must remember that you will only be asked to give up something in order to receive that which is far more beautiful and supportive of your sacred life journey. You must also remember that the cleansing power of the storm will revitalize you, bring you fresh energy and perspective to take forward in your journey, and is a divine blessing which will only bring good into your life. So I want to read a little bit more just because why not? Whilst the mind often wants to hold on to and maintain the status quo, fearing change, the soul thrills at the prospect of joy, happiness, and fulfillment that growth brings. It's so devoted to the manifestation of divine love in the world that it is willing to go through growing pains to bring the inspiring, vitalizing life of the spirit into the beautiful form of the body. The soul knows that temporary discomfort can bring tremendous gains for the spiritual path and ultimately far greater joy and pleasure in life for the body too. The mind may need reassurance from the heart that all will be well during times of great change, and the wild blessing of storm wisdom is one such time. So all of these decks, all of these spreads really highlighted the fact that we're all going through some pretty massive change, some pretty huge sacrifices in order to start something brand new. And I don't know if you've given yourself credit for that. Like you're shifting some things and making some things move around so that way you can make space and make way for other roads to open towards the journey that you are wanting to step on, right? So if that is happening, you have to know that all of the sacrifice that's going on is just to provide you a brand new outlet for a blessing that's coming to you. If you're already in the midst of transformational change, perhaps that which is deeply challenging, and you cannot see any end in sight, or are worried that the changes are going to be devastating, have faith. This storm is wild, yes, but it is filled with grace. You're being helped. You shall come through this, and the reason the storm was needed in your life is because a gentler method would not have been sufficient to free you. Divine intervention and protection, liberation and purpose is behind the storm raging through your life. It is love that moves you. Go with it. Do not resist. If you feel emotional as these words are being read, you are recognizing truth. Trust in the responses of your feelings and know that all will be well according to a compassionate, higher wisdom. So to integrate this guidance, I want to read this for you. It says, I call upon the crystal angel of Petersite, an angel Raziel who loved me unconditionally. Thank you for the divine healing gift of storm wisdom. May I open my heart and mind to the wild cleansing grace of divine power now. May fresh life, opportunity, and connection flow into my world, shifting me out of doubt and complacency and into exhilarating, inspired, and passionate purpose. May my energy be uplifted by this creative grace. May trust and love empower all beings to accept, enjoy, and flourish through the grace of change in their lives. May all beings be happy and free. Through my own free will and divine mercy. So be it. Ashe. So, integrate this storm wisdom into your life. You're ready for the changes. You know what I'm saying? You're ready for the shifts. You're ready for some things to be different, some things to move. So, how you going to let all of this transformation come through your life? Remember, you know what I mean? Like, this is a time for you to go ahead and know that the work has already been done. It's just time for you to see it as it is instead of second guessing that it is your season. It can always be your season. I'll never forget, somebody recently just told me a couple of days ago, they were like, listen, when I want to decide that it's my season, it's always my season. I just have to choose when I want to sign up and know that it's my season as well. So are you going to sign up for this as we're getting out of 2021 into 2022? Like, the brand new is right here. Are you reaching out to grab it? Okay? Reach out to grab it. Thank you for listening. Share this with somebody you think will like it. I hope that you guys have a safe weekend, no matter where you are checking in from. And we will talk again very, very soon. Okay? Peace and hair grease. Hallelujah. Holla back.